Om Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vibharam. So in Hanuman Chalisa we saw the last Chaupai was 6:1. We spoke about integration. संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे. So body, mind, intellect and speech, four aspects of the personality. When all the four remain together, that is called as integration. And that integration has a lot of power. Dissipation of energy happens when our body is in one place, mind is wandering, intellect is confused. So that Gita chariot, which is, he has brought it here, this Gita chariot is a symbol of the whole integration of the personality. The senses, 5 horses, the mind, the reins, charioteer is the buddhi, and the jiva is the individual who owns the chariot. So, senses, mind and the intellect, if they all are in control, each of them in harmony with the others, that is called the power of integration. And such an integrated personality can achieve anything in life. The secret of success is in the secret of integration. Arjun was disintegrated in the beginning of the war. Emotionally overwhelmed, so he forgot his duty. His senses became out of control. He started shivering, sweating, trembling. So any one aspect of the personality, if it overwhelms, all the other aspects get affected. How to work in such a way that all the three are in harmony with each other. That is called the power of integration. And to integrate the whole personality, we had seen last time that a goal is very necessary. A higher purpose or a higher goal will definitely integrate the personality and help us to sublimate our lower tendencies. So the moment Arjun was brought back to the goal, that your goal is to fight the war not for personal reasons but for the sake of protection of dharma. His whole personality came back into integration. Till he was operating from the emotional level, he was overwhelmed, he was thinking, why this to me, why should I kill Bhishma, Drona, all that. Very dissipated. But the moment that goal clarity came back to him, integration happened. So there are 4 types of clarity which are necessary. One is called as the goal clarity. Second is called as the role clarity. Third is called as the soul clarity. Goal clarity. What is my goal must be very, very clear to me. And to achieve that goal, what is my role? Role clarity must be there. Arjun got confused in this. From the role of a soldier, he shifted to the role of a son, of a grandson, of a teacher, student. So goal clarity, role clarity, soul clarity. I don't know who am I. That's the basic ignorance which creates all the confusions in life. And hence in the Gita we find that Bhagavan doesn't, the knowledge of the Gita is not just to make Arjun do his duty. It is to cure the problem from the root cause, which is Arjun did not know who he was. Each of us has that problem. Our identity we are not aware of. So the roles become reality for us. We don't know anything else apart from our roles. That I am a soul playing these roles must be the clarity that we must have. That's the deepest level of clarity. And for all these 3 to function properly, there has to be moral clarity in life. That what is dharma, what is adharma, what is right, what is wrong. There cannot be that there is nothing called right and wrong. So whoever has this kind of a clarity will be able to bring the full personality into integration. Such a person can achieve anything. So that's why he says here, Sankat te Hanuman Chudave. Hanuman is symbol of integration. Any problem that comes in our life can be overcome when these four are there with us. And the personality remains integrated. We allow the personality to get dissipated and disintegrated very fast. Either we get confused and then we don't know what decision to take. Intellectually we get confused. Or emotionally we get very disturbed. Some small comment somebody says or something that I wanted did not happen. Emotionally get very disturbed, irritable. Or physically there is tamas, laziness, sickness, lethargy, any of these. So how to keep all these together? When we spoke about it, we said Hanumanji is a symbol of integration because at the body level he is so strong and he is able to serve continuously. Emotionally surrender to the Lord. So that self-importance, ego, selfishness is not there. And intellectually very, very clear about what is his role, what is his duty. And such a person lives integrated life. And the more we revere Hanumanji, these qualities come into us. So now going ahead,
in our life, but how do we apply something like this, which is finally a lot of majority routine work we tend to do?
So that is the thing. So every work is a means to integrate a personality. See, there are a lot of work which we think is routine, so we allow disintegration. So suppose I am a homemaker and I am cooking something, or I am just clearing some email. So we allow the mind to get dissipated by doing 2-3 things at the same time. And we don't do one thing at a time and put full attention there. Even when we are talking to somebody, we are doing constantly so many things. So the way to practice integration is this, that try to do what Gurudev said, bring your mind where your hands are. Bring the full personality even in the smallest of acts. As far as spirituality is concerned, there is no distinction between a simple act like walking or taking a bath and meditation. In the sense, it requires the whole personality to be there. That's the training that we have to put there. Resources may be less utilized. In taking bath, intellectually I am not utilizing that much resource as if I am meditating or I am thinking. But to bring that personality to be in that place is important at that point in time. So no matter what I am doing, the practice of integration should be to do anything with full attention and not to allow divided attention. 2 is to ensure that the mind of all the factors, the main factor is the emotional disturbance, the mind. Somewhere or the other we have to do some practice whereby the mind, when it gets disturbed, we bring it back to that peace and quietude. So it can be a mantra, it can be a breath observation, it can be form, anything. The moment the mind becomes quiet, everything else then starts falling into place. So that method each of us have to find for ourselves.
And it's like when you're running or something, you're hearing music and you're very distracted. Mind is, you try and bring it, watching the tree, trying to watch it there, but then again it wanders off.
So that's the practice, bring it back. The secret there is to start loving what you do. The secret of integration is love, nothing more than that. So if you are running, do you really love the act of running? Are we able to pay attention to the body? You see, the whole attention is always outside, right? So even if I am bringing it to the trees and the people around, it is still outside. What is the breathing that is happening? What are the muscles that are getting stretched? What is that I am feeling in my speed? Lots of things are happening within the body, which I can be aware of. The impact of the foot on the ground, what does it do to the knees? What does it do to my whole, the soul? What is it called? Soul, right? S-O-L, that soul. A lot of things are there to just be aware of. It's a very tempting thing always to get distracted, just put on music and it's easy. And you find it very difficult in the beginning to do that one thing because you think that there is nothing to be aware of. But that is not true. As we start becoming aware, we start enjoying that process also more. And that is called living moment by moment, being fully there. You may start with 2 or 3 things which you really love to do. So when we are, let us say, watching a favorite TV program, are we doing 3, 4 things at the same time? Our full mind is there. We just love it. We're into it. That's it. Yeah. So integration happens when there is love. So if I love something that I am doing, you start practicing and become aware that okay, this is the state of integration. Now this is what I have to achieve in other times. Lot of small things can be done, like keeping the eyes steady is a practice of integration. Our eyes are keep wandering everywhere. We are not able to keep our eyes steady. The more the eyes are steady, the more the mind is quiet. We say yato drishti tato hasta. Yato hasta tato drishti. Where the hands are, there the eyes are. Where the eyes are, there the mind is. So many people you will see, even when they go to a temple, they will see everything else except Bhagwan. Who are the people, what is the pujari, what is the architecture, what is the AC, is there a temple bell, is there, how much the mind goes round and round. Everything seen. Nothing wrong in observing. But wandering eyes are very different from those which are observant. So even small things like that where are my eyes? What is my posture of the body? Consciously can I tell myself, okay, right now I am listening, right now I am walking, right now I am talking, right now I am working, right now I am on the computer. Simple ways to bring the mind into the now. Steadiness of the posture, stillness of the posture. To be able to sit in a posture for a long time without movement. This is how I am talking at this still at the body level. Then at the mind level, to be able to maintain a single thought or to get absorbed in a single line of thought. So integration develops when there is all this sense control, concentration, love, and there are lots of these practices which can be done for it. So मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लागे, सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा. Bhagwan Ram is called here as a tapasvi raja. It looks like a oxymoron, tapasvi and raja. But that's the way it has to be actually. Raja has to be a tapasvi. And tapasvi is the one who can actually rule properly. You see, lots of tapasvis have ruled the world in the sense they may not be kings, but they win their mind, they won the world. Vasishtha Rishi, he was a guru of Bhagwan Ram also. And Vishwamitra was a king before. And he came one day, he was after fighting a war, and he happened to come on his return journey. His whole army was very tired, exhausted. So he saw the ashram of Vasishtha Rishi. So he just went there. And Vasishtha Rishi called him saying, please come. He said, I can come, but I have a whole army. He said, don't worry, bring everybody. They can have food, they can have water, they can rest for some time, then they go ahead. He said, how will this tapasvi take care of so many people? He is living in the forest. Then he found out that Vasishtha Rishi had a cow called Kamdhenu. And the milk of that Kamdhenu cow is such that any amount of food or whatever is required is available. Any desire is actually fulfilled. Kamdhenu is a wish fulfilling cow. So he was very disturbed. He said, I am the king, and how come this cow is with this ascetic? So I must have it. So he fought a war with Vasishtha Rishi just to get that cow.
Could you get?
Obviously, he couldn't get. He sent his whole army to fight, and Vasishtha Rishi took his danda. Danda is that on which they rest their hand and do the tapas. He put his danda forward. No weapon could pass that, nothing could happen, and that Vishwamitra Rishi's pride was humbled. I forgot his name. What was his? His name was something else as a king. So the idea there was that a tapasvi, the tapas it has a lot of power. Generally, the moment we say tapas, we think sadhu, some rishi, somebody who has not eaten for a long time, long beard, not taken bath, sitting below a tree in a forest. But Gurudev used to give us a very nice definition of tapas. He said, any attempt at rising from your present state of evolution to a higher state is called as tapas. So any attempt I do. So if I am waking up every day at 7 o'clock, if I am putting that effort to wake up at 6 o'clock and do exercise and make my body fit, that is a tapas. So in the 17th chapter of the Gita, there is Sharirik tapas. What tapas can I do at body level? Manasik tapas, mental level. Tapas of speech. So idea here is that whatever I do to lift myself from the present state to a higher state, that is called as tapas. And another meaning of tapas is self-control. A person who is self-controlled, only such a person will have control over the mind. Otherwise a person will not have control on the mind. If I allow the senses to do whatever it wants, if I allow the mind to say whatever it feels like, become angry, get irritated, feel jealous, no control I have over my senses and the mind, that person cannot rule effectively. So here he says Ram was a tapasvi Raja and Hanumanji served such a great master. The expression is very nice because in the earlier days if you see the Raja, they always used to have Rishi who would be the guru or a spiritual advisor. And the Rishi would ensure that the Raja does some or other form of tapas. Because it is very easy for power to get into the head. And Tapasvi Raja is one who is able to live with humility, with surrender. Because if the Raja is a bhogi, Raja will be also like that. Today you see that's what is happening everywhere. The whole concept of Tapasvi Raja is only not there. The reason why people want to get into power is so that they can enjoy. But in our culture, the use of power is for serving the people, not for anything else. So a Raja is actually considered to be the Pratinidhi of Ishvara, as the representative of Ishvara. And so the Raja has to rule with that bhavana. And two main important aspects of a Tapasvi Raja are that a Tapasvi Raja has to live in Dharma and do Nyaya. These are two important duties of a king. You can apply this to any leader also. If you see Hanumanji himself, how much tapas he lived in. Have you ever found Hanumanji's picture with lots of fruits and sweets and laddus and wine and any of that? Nowhere. But the kind of strength that he had, he could have lived a very indulgent life. But no. Bhoga and tapas, they don't go together. Literally, tapas means to rise higher. Pat means to fall. And tap means to rise high. And how do I rise high? Another meaning of tap is to burn. You know that gold ore or iron ore is burnt in fire. Then it shines, putting aside all its impurities. So a person who is able to live in self-control, mind control, how will a person live that way? Only when one sticks to the path of dharma. So to live in dharma, to follow one's duty itself is a tapas. And if one remains focused on that, it becomes easy to lift oneself higher and higher and let go of the impurities. For example, the dharma of the body. If I have to do the duty towards my own body, I have to take proper food, I have to take proper sleep, I have to do exercise properly, conserve the energies, not waste the vitalities. That is the tapas. One doesn't have to do separately some austere thing which is very difficult, like not drinking water, not eating food, all that. That specifically those who want to do may choose to do for different reasons. But just to do the duty itself. So a king is able to do dharma only if the king is a tapasvi raja. He lives in dharma only if he is a tapasvi. Because a person who is a selfish person will not be able to live in dharma. Will live only for oneself, enjoyment, for one's own self-gratification. So if I have to live in dharma, I must follow tapas. And only a person established in dharma can do nyaya or justice. Now 2 examples we will see for it. In the traditional scriptures, you will find it in the world outside also, many. Dhritarashtra was not able to keep the feeling of nation above self. He lived a very, very selfish life. So he was not able to do his duty, he was not able to live in dharma, and hence he was not able to do nyaya. So what happened as a result? His entire family got wiped out. And he was the main cause for it. Why? Because of selfishness and attachment. How simple it would have been just for him to tell Duryodhan, saying, you sit quietly here. I am the king and I give this kingdom which rightly belongs to Pandavas to them, and you stay in Hastinapur. With that much only. Maybe Duryodhan would have been unhappy. So what? Lakhs of people died just because of this man's foolishness. And that's what always happens. Whenever the Raja becomes a bhogi, the Praja suffers.
In Mahabharata, the son was not given. Somebody was selected from the courtiers. Bharat was not son of the king. He was son of a minister, I think.
That was Vidur. On the other hand, you will see Bhagwan Ram's example here. When it says Sappar Ram Tapasvi Raja, amongst all the kings, Ram is considered as a great king. The word, we always say Ram Rajya, we never say Yudhishthir Rajya, or we never say any other king's Rajya. We always say Ram Rajya. Because Ram was an ideal of Dharma. How easy would have been it would have been for Ram to ignore the comment of the Praja and let Sita ji stay in the kingdom, especially after the Agni Pariksha has been done in Lanka already. Bhagwan Ram did not do Agni Pariksha of Sita ji because he distrusted her. He did the Agni Pariksha of Sita ji to protect her from the people. Because when she is returning now, she is not returning as his wife, she is returning as a queen. And people are obviously going to question. So, to protect Sita ji, he made her go through Agni Pariksha. He did not have any doubts on Sita ji because Hanuman has already come and told him. And even without Hanuman saying, he knows. So even after Sita ji goes through Agni Pariksha, yet Ram banishes Sita out of the kingdom. And till today, that people don't understand, and they always say Ram did not do the fair thing, and why did Ram do that? But he took the whole blame on himself. He did not say that, okay, let people talk whatever, why should I send Sita? That is called a Tapasvi Raja. And it is said, Ram Rajya for how many years? Ram Rajya was for 11,000 years. Ram Rajya was for 11,000 years. So Tapasvi Raja and a Bhogi Raja are very two different things. So you apply this to leadership. Am I a leader who is living in self-control, who is a role model and who is able to live with righteousness and do justice. A leader cannot be partial. A leader cannot be attached. A leader has to be compassionate at the same time and see the maximum good of everybody. So that way, Sappar Ram Tapasvi Raja and Bhagwan Ram, he gave that example. So Hanumanji is the one who served such a mighty king. Ramji himself could have done all the work what was required. But Hanumanji, Sugri, so many people. Ram, another quality of a Tapasvi Raja is that the person is able to involve more and more and more people. See, individually one is great, there is nothing extraordinary about it. A lot of individual brilliance is there in the people. But we have to be able to take people together. That's the quality of a great leader. In India, our problem is that individual brilliance is there, but when people come together, they are not able to work together. Ego comes in. Everybody wants to be a leader. Nobody wants to be a follower. Nobody wants to work together as a team. One may say on the stage when award is given, yeah, I dedicate this to my team member, this, that, but deep inside is a very different feeling altogether. So what is necessary is that a person is able to involve. Hanumanji had great power, but Bhagwan Ram involved even smaller and less powerful monkeys, bears, even a squirrel. So Tapasvi Raja is such a person that people are all able to get involved with that person. So he says, Sab par Ram Tapasvi Raja, Tinke Kaj Sakal Tum Saja. Of such a great mighty king, you were able to do all the tasks that were given to you by him. Meaning you are such an efficient executor. No work given to Hanumanji will ever go for a flop. It will be successful. Why? Because what we saw earlier, integration is there, so much in it. Sappar Ram Tapasvi Raja, Tinke Kaj Sakal Tum Saja. और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे. I'll tell you. Or manorath means any desire that you have. Not just freedom from a disease or some problem or financial issue or some planetary issues. Any desire that you have. And whoever you may be, jo koi lave. This is the universality of Hanuman Chalisa. This is the universality of the Gita also. In Gita you will nowhere find the word Hindu. The word Yaha will be used always. Yaha means whoever it is. It is not limited to the Hindus or a particular caste or particular Brahmins or any society or any nothing. It's for any human being. We say Jo koi lave. And there are lots of examples of people who have chanted Hanuman Chalisa, who have been of different faith. With sincerity they have chanted. Even for one time they have chanted, or that one full day, or 5 times, 7 times with their Shraddha, and you see their life changing. So here he says, Aur manorath jo koi lave, soi amit jeevan phal paave. You may ask for a fulfillment of a desire, but the grace and blessing of Hanumanji is such that not only your desire is fulfilled, but also you get immeasurable result. Amit jeevan phal paave. Why? Because the more and more a person is able to have faith, Hanumanji blesses a person with more and more faith. When your desire is fulfilled, then the Shraddha in that deity increases. And it is the Shraddha that takes a person ultimately to Gyan, which helps a person to know that I am one with that Lord. Hence he says, Amit Jeevan Phal Paave. We may ask for Mita. Mita means measurable or temporary, finite. Amit means immeasurable. Immeasurable result a person attains, meaning a person attains fulfillment, Atma-gyan. Amit Jeevana Phal Paave. So you may begin with any way. that you may chant Hanuman Chalisa only on a Saturday, or only when you had some physical issue or a emotional problem. Starting point can be anything. Or some people chant even without knowing the meaning. Doesn't matter. You start. Ultimately, this will be the result. Soi amit jivana phala paave. Immeasurable will be the result. This applies to any deity actually. But more so with Hanumanji here, because it is Hanuman Chalisa. Very, very few people are there who are able to take no supports in life at all and live with the clarity that my nature is happiness. You think about it. Everybody needs some or the other support. Somebody takes the support of science. There is no difference between that and this. Somebody feels that I am more logical and more evolved or more rational, but there is a dependence on science. And here there is a dependence on a higher power. Call it God, call it truth, call it reality. Some people depend on money, some people on power, some on position, some on fame. We depend on so many things. Most of them are perishable. The only source of strength which is imperishable is the Lord. And so when we hold on to that, Amit Jivana Phala. You were saying something. So, our manorath jo koi lave, soi Amit Jivana Phala. You know, a lot of people think that man proposes and God disposes. God doesn't dispose. Man only proposes, man only disposes. Our mind is only so chanchal. Bhagavan is not sitting here to put obstacles on our fulfillment of desires. He is here to bless. Which parent will want to put obstacle in the life of their own child? A mortal parent will not want to do that. Why will Bhagavan do? Our past karma, our present fickleness of the mind, our anxiety for the future, that creates all kinds of issues. The Lord is waiting there. The faith is so simple, but yet why it is so difficult for us? In the Bible also he says, ask and it shall be given. Knock and it shall be opened. Very simple faith. And so many great masters have actually achieved this. Their life is a testimony of these things which are written in the Shastra. So, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे. चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा. In all the four yugas, your glory is present. And hai parasiddha jagat ujiyara. The whole world is illumined by your own glory, your own fame. So this is another aspect of our culture. See, one aspect is when it is said four yuga, charo yuga. Modern concept of time is a linear time. Yesterday, today, tomorrow. So future will become present, present will become past. So it is linear, it will go like this. But the Hindu culture of time is cyclical. It goes like this. So Satyug, Tretayug, Dwapar, Kaliyug. Again Satyug, Tretayug, Dwapar, Kaliyug. So it goes on. So in our culture, we believe that time is beginningless and endless. And hence creation is also beginningless and endless. Actually the other way. Time is a part of creation. So creation is beginningless and endless. That's why we have the concept of four yugas, then pralaya, Again the 4 yugas will start.
Satyuga,
Satyug, Tretayug, Dwapar Kali. So the reason why time is like this, cyclical, is to understand the laws of cause and effect. See, even in a linear span of time, cause and effect can apply. Yesterday's effort is today's destiny. Today's effort will be tomorrow's destiny. But this linear span of time is limited to this life. This cyclical concept of time, that even when the creation gets destroyed, you, the individual, continues to remain in the unmanifest form and again continue from where you left. Like our waking and the sleep. We sleep, that is like being in unmanifest state when the creation is also unmanifest. When we wake up, we continue from where we began. So the cyclical concept of time is that. That's why we say char yuga. And there are many other reasons for it also, that how the purity decreases through each yuga, so that we become more alert, that okay, right now if we are in Kali Yuga, these are the effects of Kali Yuga. So how do I protect myself? Selfishness is high, greed is high, stress is high, worry is high, anxiety is high. What is the way by which I can protect myself? So those things are required. So then the concept of 4 yuga is there. Now Ramayana happened in which yuga? In Treta Yuga. So Hanumanji was there in Treta Yuga. Why is it said here that Charo Yuga par Taap Tumhara? So one reason is that Bhagavan is eternal. The glory of Bhagavan is eternal. And the devotee of the Lord is also eternal. So the glory of the devotee also is eternal. So Hanumanji's glory is there in all the 4 yugas. Not just in the yuga where he is born. One reason. Second reason is, as he says here, that Bhagavan, this Pavan Devata is always present in all the 4 yugas. And Hanumanji being the son of Pavan Devata, he is also present. And Hanumanji actually is a Chiranjeevi also. He is one who will live till the end of the Kalpa. So, Charo Yuga par Taap Tumhara, because he is always there. And there is a belief in our culture that time being a cyclic concept, Ramayana happens in every Treta Yuga. So there is not only one Ramayana. That's why you will find in many different Ramayans, different versions of some same stories or incidents you will find, which they call as Kalpa Bheda. So in one particular cycle of creation, Ramayana happened in this way. In the second cycle of creation, a little modification happened in this way. That's a traditional belief. I'm just sharing with you what is the orthodox traditional belief, up to you to believe or not.
There is this belief that Ramayana and somebody, in that dating of Ramayana, they said 7,000 years back, so it's happened in Satya Yuga, which is 7,000. I'm not able to understand that. So what is true?
Yeah, so the difficulty with us is only that because we go back only to the documented history. How much history are we aware of? Is maximum 700 years, 7,000 years, 10,000 years. That's all is the documented history we are aware of. Universe, they say, is 13.8 billion years old. That's the cycle of one universe. Science is saying this. 13.8 billion years. We don't know. We base broadly, we may know, okay, this is the era when dinosaurs were there, this is the era when some Neolithic age and this and that, so many things are there. But we don't have proper documented history. One. Two, the evidence that is found is also based on the material which is there in today's world. So they may use carbon dating, thermal dating, and fossils.
Software.
Yeah, exactly. So planetarium software. So that planetarium software, fine. So if they say that Same software they used to date Mahabharata also.
Yeah.
So they have said Mahabharata is 3100 years, 3100 BC. And Ramayana is 7000 BC. Our culture does not support that aspect. History may say that to us today. But history definitely has its own limitations. Treta Yuga, Kali Yuga is supposed to be 4,32,000 years. Dwapar Yuga is 8,64,000. And double of that, 17 lakh, how much? 28. 64, no? Yeah, 17 lakh 28
Ayodhya is that.
is Treta Yuga. And double of that is the Satyuga.
City of Ayodhya is that.
That is what the Shastra is saying. Now, we may date according to this present condition, but how much changes have happened while we are alive only? You just see. 10 years ago I came to Mumbai and now, how much change has already happened? All based on the present condition. What Mumbai was 100 years ago, I will have no idea. And if I want to know also, maximum I can find out based on today's material, which has already gone through a lot of change. So, going by Shraddha, we always say that yes, these are the 4 yugas and this is the time period of these 4 yugas. But to match it with present history exactly is not very easy. Because so many factors are not known. For example, in 1990, going by the knowledge of science at that time, we did not have evidence of Saraswati river and its whole track. Today, because of satellite technology, we have the evidence. And then they found out the whole track, and now that whole Aryan invasion theory is a myth has got proved. How many years it took? 20-25 years. So at that point in time, that knowledge was considered authentic. Today I am considering this dating as authentic. After 35 years, 40 years, I may not consider this dating of Mahabharata or Ramayana as authentic. Because more revelations would have happened by then. So that is why to match it exactly is sometimes very tough. One thing I have found is what Shastra is saying, eventually quite a lot of it comes, science comes to that. So to match it at the moment is very tough. So he says, Charo Juga par tap tumhara hai par siddh jagat ujiyara. Symbolic aspect of this is that the whole world is alive or is enlivened or is in harmony because of devotees like Hanumanji. You will find that even today, the world is sustained because of goodness. Though media propaganda and so many other things may be such that we may only see a lot of negativity all around. But if only negative was there, it would have destroyed each other and everything would have got over by now. But there is a lot of goodness even today in the whole world. And it is that goodness which sustains, which is the basis of this universe. So when he says here, the Charo Rupa Partav Tumhara Hai Parasiddha Jagat Ujiyara, the strength of goodness of character that Hanumanji had, he says that is that which actually brings up the. Otherwise, you just think if we had no self knowledge, if we had no bhakti, if we had no concept of seva, surrender, what would be our life? Living a life of ego, living a life of selfishness, living a life of negative tendencies. It would have been darkness only. The real light of life is the light of knowledge, the light of selflessness, the light of service, the light of devotion. And Hanumanji represents that. So we say that चारों युग पर ताप तुम्हारा है परिसिद्ध जगत उजियारा. And the next Chaupai also continues the similar thing. Sadhu sant ke tum rakhware asura nikandana ram dulare. So even the good people, literally the word sadhu means good. Sadhu doesn't mean somebody who is a renunciate. That is one aspect of
Noble.
it. Noble person, good person. So if your spouse has cooked a very nice dish, you can say sadhu sadhu. It is very good. If somebody said something very nice, you can say sadhu. You said very good. So sadhu means good people. So goodness is that which is keeping the world alive even today. And Hanumanji is the one who is protector of such people. Sadhu santake tum rakhware. Now there are different meanings of this word sadhu. See, who is a sadhu? One is who is a noble and a pure good person. Second is titikshavah karunikaha. Those who are tolerant to their own limitations, who don't condemn themselves but work to get over them. And those who are compassionate towards others, they are called as sadhu. That if I have a flaw, I don't criticize myself, condemn myself, I work to get over it. So I have titiksha or tolerance. And I have compassion for the flaws and the difficulties of other people. I don't shout, get angry and get irritated. Then I am a sadhu. Why? Because I am also struggling, they are also struggling. Each has their own battle. So why be harsh to somebody? There's one picture that goes around on internet very often, Facebook. And people give different people's names and says this fellow said it, this person said it. Somebody quotes Plato, somebody puts somebody else's name. And the quote is very simple. The quote says that everybody is fighting their own war, so please be kind. Each one is fighting their own battle. They themselves are already struggling. Why are you adding to their trouble? Be kind to people. So compassionate, be compassionate. Such a person is a sadhu who is able to understand, empathize with other people's struggle. Doesn't just become merciless, ruthless. And another meaning of sadhu is one who is like cotton. In Tulsi Ramayana, Tulsidaji says that sadhu charita, shubha charita, kapasu. Kapasu means cotton. So this cotton, it is very white. It's a symbol of purity. And this cotton gets beaten again and again and again and again and forms the threads. And then those threads are used for weaving. And then the cloth is made. So the cotton goes through a lot of process. A lot of pain it goes through. But that cotton, when it becomes a cloth, it hides the nakedness of people. It doesn't expose them. Same way a sadhu is one who is kind and compassionate, who doesn't believe in insulting and exposing people, but who is compassionate to accommodate and let people evolve. Such people are sadhu. And who is a santa? जिसने मन के संताप का अंत किया वो संत. Whose agitations of the mind have become totally quiet is a sant. And they can be householders, they can be working people, they can be anybody. It is not meant to be only for renunciation. Such good people who are established in their goodness, they don't need any protection. Prahlad did not need any protection. Hanumanji does not need any protection because they are good and established in their goodness. But those who are good and yet not established in their goodness, who always have a doubt, why should I be good? Who always feel that, if I am good, I will be taken for granted. People will take advantage of me. Who don't have that faith in goodness, who are not yet convinced about it fully or living it totally, but they are attempting. To such people, he says here that sadhu santa ke tum rakhware. You are the one who protects the saints and sages. How? In the Ramayana, we see that he protected the saints and sages from all the demons. Asura Nikandana Ramadulare. He killed so many demons, protected the saints and the sages.
Nikandan means
Destroy. But more importantly, when a person more and more reveres Hanumanji, gets that strength and conviction in the power of goodness. That I am going to be good because that is my nature. Around me, people may not be good, that they are choosing that. Why should I flow with that and suffer? To the extent I have goodness, to that extent I am at peace. I am more humble, I am more simple. So Hanumanji here, he says, Sadhu Santake Tumarakhware Asura Nikandana Rama Dulare. This is the work of Dharma Samstapana which an avatar does. To protect the good and destroy the evil. Even if I have negative tendencies in the mind, I am a seeker trying to overcome lust, passion, greed, jealousy, anger. These are all the inner demons that we have. And they constantly torment us. And we very easily succumb to them. But the more we hold on to Hanumanji, they have lesser and lesser power on me. Because I hold on to goodness. I don't fight anger. In psychology, they always say that whatever you fight against becomes more stronger. That's the rule in the mind. As far as mind is concerned, what we resist persists. What we fight against becomes more stronger. So as far as the mental battle is concerned, one should not be fighting against the negativity, one should be strengthening the positive. You will find this mentioned even in that secret, in that movie. He says, don't be anti-war, be pro-peace. Don't be anti-pollution, be for the environment. The whole approach is very different. In anti there is protest, 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 protest. In pro there is what can be done, start doing it. And that will create the results. So, when he says here that sadhu santake tumarakhware, the good tendencies in us, he protects. The evil tendencies in us, he destroys. So, the more we revere Hanumanji, these things happen very naturally. Sadhu santake tumarakhware asura nikandana Rama Dulare. You say, okay, all this is fine, Swamiji. थोड़ा material benefit भी बताइए. तो ये सब ठीक है. हमको थोड़ा माल चाहिए. So next one says, Ashta Siddhi Nav Nidhi ke Data Asabar Deen Janaki Mata Ram Rasayan Tumare Pasa Sada Raho Raghupati ke Dasa. So Hanumanji, when he reached Lanka and he met Sita ji and he conveyed his message, all that we saw, Sita ji was so thrilled, Hanumanji brought life back to Sita ji by bringing the message of Bhagavan Ram and assuring her that he is coming and all that. So Sita ji was very thrilled. She called him his son also, her son also, and she blessed him that you will have Ashta Siddhya Nav Nidhi. Now that you will have, she blessed him that you will be able to give this to other people. Hanumanji already had Siddhis. Siddhis are special powers. He was already blessed in his childhood by so many devtas. So what are these Ashta Siddhis? These are very nice powers actually. What are they? Anima means the capacity to become small. So when he was going to enter Lanka, he became small like a mosquito and he was going to enter. So Anima means to become small, actually physically become small. Then Mahima means to become big, huge. In front of Shursa, he kept on increasing his size. So Anima, Mahima. Then Garima means to become very heavy. So his tail became so heavy that Bhim was not able to lift. Anima, Mahima, Garima, then Laghima is to become very light. So when he jumped from that tree, not only he became very small, he became very light so that nobody should even know. So Anima, Mahima, Garima, Laghima. Then he says here, Prapti, the power to attain whatever one wants. Any desire. Meaning the mind becomes so single pointed that the sankalpa has to come and it will happen. And amazing thing is that that person may not have to do anything much for it. The person thinks it will just happen. Resources will get organized around that person in that way. Then he says prakamya or prakashya. Prakamya means the capacity to travel into all the three worlds. And prakashya means the body is self-effulgent. So you don't need tube light, torch, nothing. Self-effulgent. There's a quality of the body actually. There's a siddhi like that. Then Ishitvam, the power to rule over the three worlds. And Vashitvam, the power to control anybody that one wants. So these are 8 powers, Ashta Siddhi. And Hanumanji had these 8 powers before also. But Sitaji now says that not only you have it, I give you the blessing that you can give this to anybody. Actually in this verse is a secret of how to approach wealth. Wealth management is there in this. 2 people approached Sitaji. One is Hanumanji, one is Ravan. Now Ravan approached Sitaji with the attitude of possessing her, dominating, controlling, with so much of arrogance, to make her his wife. What was the result? His whole Lanka got burnt. Whatever power he had, that also got destroyed. And Hanumanji approached Sitaji how? As a mother, with a worshipful attitude, with no desire to possess, with only a desire to serve the Lord. I have come here as a messenger of the Lord. So in our culture, the attitude towards wealth is, we do not condemn wealth. Nobody says in Hindu culture wealth is bad. First pursuit that we worship in 4 Purushartha is Artha. Mother Lakshmi we say. So we worship wealth. So we don't condemn wealth, nor we condemn wealthy people. A lot of people, who are not able to become prosperous are because they are condemning wealth and they condemn wealthy people. They say they are stinking rich, filthy rich. When you become rich, then you are not stinking and filthy. But no, because they don't have, they condemn. That doesn't bring wealth to them. That pushes them away. So in our culture, we never condemn wealth. Nor do we try to possess wealth. What we do is let wealth be approached as a mother. And when wealth is approached as a mother, we utilize that wealth for noble purpose, for our duty, for the work of the Lord, for Narayan Seva, we utilize the wealth. Will anybody take the mother to a gambling house? We will not take. So why take money there? Why take it to a race course? Why take it to all kinds of wrong places? Keep wealth. It's Mother Lakshmi, worship the wealth, utilize it for the sake of everyone, at their benefit. So that's the secret there. And one important aspect is the greater the power that one gets, the more one will benefit from it only when there is humility and surrender. Otherwise that power will destroy. All the asuras had lots and lots of powers. But what did they do with that power? They destroyed themselves. So Sitaji represents two types of wealth, not just the material wealth, but she also represents the wealth of spiritual knowledge and bhakti. So she blessed Hanumanji that you not only have Ashta Siddhis, so 8 Siddhis I told you. One is this 8 Siddhis. Other 8 Siddhis are what are the things that we get when we remember Hanumanji. So there's a nice shloka which says Buddhir Balam Yasho Dhairyam Nirbhayatvam Arogatam Ajadhyam Vakpatutvam Cha Hanumat Smaranat Bhave. These are the 8 Siddhis that one gets when we remember Hanumanji. Buddhi, intelligence, Balam, strength, Yasha, fame, Dhairya, courage, Nirbhayatvam, fearlessness, Ajadyam, freedom from all kinds of tamas, Vakpatutvam, eloquence, Buddhi, Balam, Yasho, Dhairyam, Nirbhayatvam, Arogatam, freedom from diseases. 8 aspects one gets. These are the Ashtasiddhis, in another way if you want to understand. So all these 8 Siddhis, they are powers of the mind. And by yogic practices also you can get them. But Hanumanji was blessed by Sitaji. Not only that he will have this, but he will also be able to give this to other people. And the 9 nidhis, they are 9 treasures. Guruji has mentioned that in this commentary, the last paragraph. These are all precious stones. So they are belonging to Kuber, the god of wealth. So Mahapadma, Padma, Shankha, Makara, Kachapa, Mukunda, Kunda, Neela and Kharva. These are all special types of stones. To even have any one of them means a lot of wealth. So all the 9 powers, all the 9 types of special stones, 8 types of special siddhis of the mind, not only Hanumanji has, he can bless people with that. But the beauty of Hanumanji is this, that even when he got this, Ashtasiddhi now nidike data, asavardina janaki mata. You just imagine if one of them is given to us, how thrilled we will be. Wow. In Mumbai we need one 9th siddhi actually. That is a siddhi to appear and disappear. So that we save the travel time. You just appear in Virar, disappear, appear in Churchgate. Over. See, one siddhi also comes to us, so nice. And to get even one siddhi, yogis have to do tapas for so many years. One yogi went to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and he said, so somebody introduced him, he is such great yogi. So Ramakrishna said, what do you do? He said, I have done tapas for last 20 years and I can walk on water. He said, what a waste of time. 20 years you took to walk on water. I give 5 annas and cross the river. Why did you waste 20 years for that? Meaning, from his standpoint, you and I can't even say that because the 20 years of tapas that man did, we are nowhere close to even that. From Ramakrishna's standpoint, who was reveling in bhakti of Kali and oneness with the Lord, he said, why are you wasting your time in cultivating siddhis? Get devotion, surrender and release yourself. Because siddhi also is, after all, is just one power. You are still a finite jiva, an individual entity in a golden cage, that's all. How does it matter? So Hanumanji was not very thrilled when Sitaji said, you will have 8 siddhis and 9 nidhis and you can give that to others also. So for him it was very ordinary. Then Sitaji realized, he doesn't have any moha for any of these. Then she said, Ram rasayana tumare pasa sada raho raghupati ke dasa. The moment she gave him that blessing, he started jumping up and down, saying, yes, I got it. But that's what a devotee truly wants. She said, Ram rasayana tumare pasa. You have The word rasayan has no proper translation in English. Rasayan,
Chemical.
it is not chemical. It is not even a medicine. The medicine in the daily life, we eat medicine, it creates more side effects. And it doesn't cure the disease fully. But Ram Rasayan is such that whoever takes that, the bhavarog is cured, that person gets revitalized, there are no side effects, and the person is free. So he says, you have that special blessing from me, that you have that Rasayan of Ram. And through you, so many people will get cured. Ram Rasayan tumhare pasa. And I give you the blessing, Sadaraho Raghupati ke dasa. You be a dasa of Raghupati forever. That is all that Hanumanji wanted. He didn't want any other powers. He said, if my mind can remain surrendered to the Lord, that is the greatest blessing. In our life, there is no other greater blessing than that the mind remains surrendered. Otherwise, the mind is always the cause of bondage. When it surrenders to the feet of the Lord and abides there, that's it. Attain the goal of life. So Ram Rasayan tumhare pasa sada raho Raghupati ke dasa. So the more a person loves Hanumanji, the more love for Ram in that person will grow, because Hanumanji has that quality in him, that he loves the Lord Ram, and whoever comes to Hanumanji, he takes him to Lord Ram. We saw earlier, Sugriv and Sitaji and Vibhishan and so many of them, they were introduced by Hanuman to Ramji. They were introduced to Ramji and then they got free. So Ram Rasayan tumhare pasa sada raho Raghupati ke dasa. So people who come to us, they must get inspired by a higher purpose. That's the quality of the leader. That the leader stands for that vision to which he or she is surrendered. That I am surrendered to the vision of serving this company, or serving the people, or serving the country, or serving my family. So the more they come close to us, the more they get that spirit from us. We are not interested to make our followers, our group, our team, then that is a limitation. The more we are able to make people surrender, because in surrender comes out the true power. We have seen that earlier. So Ram Rasayan tumhare pasa sada rahu Raghupati ke dasa. How contradictory it seems to be. By surrendering completely, I become free. Generally, a person feels that if I surrender, my freedom is gone. No. Surrender is the way to freedom. So if there is one blessing that we should ask the Lord, it is a blessing of Vimal Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti. Purest devotion and single-pointed devotion. That, oh Lord, give me single-pointed devotion. Because in spirituality, knowledge and dispassion, they both are children of bhakti. If bhakti comes, the feeling comes in our heart for the Lord. If we feel that Bhagwan is there, just like we see our own near and dear ones and we feel they are there, so our emotions are channelized towards them. We are not able to progress in devotion, we are not able to progress in spirituality because that bhavana is not there. We think of God only as some power, some consciousness. So that personal feeling is not there, that God is and I have a relationship with that Lord. That's where this comes in. If the bhakti comes to us, integration will happen, concentration will happen, meditation will happen, everything happens very easily. So one blessing, if we have to ask this from the Lord, that please bless me with Ananya Bhakti, single-pointed devotion, and Vimal Bhakti, purest of devotion. That's all I need. Ashtasiddhi, etc. will come like that if a person has these two. In fact, this is not blessing, this is not given by the Lord to everybody, this kind of a blessing. Because the Ananya Bhakta is such that Bhagwan runs behind that Bhakta. Forget Siddhis. Bhagwan only runs behind that Bhakta. Hence, it is the rarest of the blessing. and given by the Lord only to those who really want it.
One gets behind what?
Hmm?
We have done it. One gets behind.
Bhagavan goes behind the devotees who have Ananya Bhakti and Vimal Bhakti. Bharat ji, Hanuman ji, Prahlad, so many of them. They are examples of these Ananya and Vimal Bhakti.
Is it VIMAL or DIMAL?
VIM. Bengali they add they make va into ba. That is Vimal. Sanskrit splitting is mala is impurity, V means vigata. So means without impurity, means pure. So for today we stop here and tomorrow we shall conclude our